some things drive me nuts. Andy at Cambridge, good morning, mate. How you going?
I'm well, Brian. How are you?
Mate, I'm good. I'm a little disturbed about our 2%ers, but other than that, very well. How are you going? You all right? And
Where does it end, Brian?
Yeah.
I mean, next thing you know, they'll start mandating flashing lights on motorcycles.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, but
enough with the legislation.
Well, hang on. I remember the arc up. No, I'm old enough to remember the arc up when the mandatory headlight on all the time came out. I mean, the motorcyclists just were ropeable about it. Won't make any difference. Won't do any good. Won't bring the road to our doll. No, probably not.
No, it didn't. That's exactly right. This is the whole point, Brian.
G'day everybody and welcome back. Yes, that was me on the wireless talking to local breakfast DJ on a fairly popular Hobart radio station, Triple M. About 2 years ago I filmed a short video on my views on high visibility jackets and vests, and you know, that still holds true. But it surfaced again because Triple M, I'll put the link in the description and in the corner. But the debate is raging again locally, thanks to Triple M, who posted a Facebook poll asking whether or not motorists believe that motorcyclists and cyclists should be mandated to wear high visibility clothing. And 81% thought it was a good idea and 19% thought it wasn't a good idea, and I'm tipping that the 19% were all motorcyclists and that the 80% have never ridden a motorcycle. So I mean, I put my views across. Brian Carlton, who's or the Spoon Man, is the DJ. He had his mind made up. He wasn't going to really listen to any debate about the issue. He believes it should be mandated. Now currently in Australia, the only legal requirement is that you wear an approved safety helmet. So you're free to make up your own mind about what you want to do with the rest of your apparel. And of course there's plenty of advice out there from the Motorcycle Council, from governments, from everybody really that has got their 2 cents, and they believe that you should be making the right choices, as do I. One of the points that Spoonman made was that there's a cool element to it that people need to get past, and that, I mean, that's not entirely true. Sure, vanity does come into it a little bit, but a lot of apparel manufacturers out there have gone to great lengths to produce certified safe riding apparel that has an urban street look, so that you can get on your motorcycle and ride it to the pub, and apart from the normal issues that those of you that are still blessed with hair have to deal with when you pull off your helmet, you can walk into the pub and pretty well look like you just stepped out of a car. One of the other points that I failed to make was the fact that, although we're not seeing it here today, this is a weekend, but generally through the week the roads are filled with soccer mums in SUVs and tradesmen in dual cab 4-wheel drive utes. They're bloody everywhere, and you get lost in all that. Like, since I don't know when it all sort of really started to happen, maybe in the 80s, 90s. Certainly in the 2000s we've seen an explosion of those types of vehicles on the roads. Large Dodge, large Ford Rangers and X-Trails and Land Cruisers and Patrols and Mitsubishis and Subarus and you name it, they're making them bigger. So we don't sit up above the traffic like we used to. And know, that's another reason why, you know, the high vis is often useless. Plus, you get lost in the front of the bike, you get lost in the fairings, windscreens, tail bags, top boxes, fairings, all the rest of it. So all that we can do as riders, you know, like, forget about trying to get these guys around us here to see us, because they're not interested. They're more interested in what's happening with their kids in the back seat, what's happening on their phone, what's happening on the radio, or adjusting the climate control. This is where we have problems, and so it's up to us to drive for them. We need to be able to predict, try and predict. So we're always, as you would know as a motorcyclist, we're fairly hyper aware of our surroundings, and one of the things that I've often heard people say is that everyone who goes for the licence should have to ride a motorcycle for a period of time, and you know, that's it's not as silly as it sounds. However, it's not really ever going to happen, and it's not that practical. SUV, 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 SUV. Yeah, so dual cab ute. So we need to take responsibility for our own safety and position ourselves on the road so that we're as visible as possible. If you're behind a car for any length of time, keep moving. Change your position from here to here. Ride there for a while, change it back. And sooner or later they start looking in the mirror and going, where's that motorbike going? Or what's that motorbike doing? When you're I mean, I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50, and I didn't live this long by making, well, I probably got away with a little bit in my youth. Fairly lucky about not getting tangled up with cars, etc. But roadcraft, you know, is something that can't be understated. And the problem if you're a learner, I mean, when I knew how to drive a car and ride a bike long years before I was ever old enough to hold a motorcycle or a car licence. So I didn't have to worry about the fundamentals. All I had to worry about was roadcraft, whereas most kids these days don't have that luxury, and I guess maybe a lot of kids when I was younger didn't have that luxury either, where they could just get in something and drive around the paddock. But so they got to learn the whole process: stop, go, change gears, steering, indicating, all the rest of it. So it's all very overwhelming for them when they're learning how to drive, and the instructors tend to focus on that, making sure that they're not wreaking havoc on the road, as opposed to, you know, fairly strict safety and roadcraft. That comes with experience, and sometimes it comes from bad experiences. I was sort of hoping for a bit more traffic than this. It is a quiet day on the roads around the eastern shore. A very bright helmet on that man. It's important that you stay back far enough from the vehicle in front. For any of you young riders, don't tailgate, because things pop out from under cars, particularly around here. You get wildlife that gets run over a lot, and I've been caught out before where I've been sitting too close, and I'll run over a dead carcass on the road, and it'll pop out from under that car, and you don't have time to react. And the other time to put distance between you and the car in front is if you're being tailgated. You need to be able to brake for the vehicle behind you and bring them to a slow stop so they don't run up your ass. But this is a typical situation where if we get up behind this car, all of a sudden we're not that bloody visible to anything. Someone coming out of a driveway, someone who's looking to overtake and waiting for a gap in the road, they won't see you. Get back far enough and it all becomes obvious. Well, this guy turning across here, he can see me now. I'm looking at him right in the eyeballs. I usually give myself a bit of room as well, like if somebody's at an intersection or coming out, I'll try and position myself so they can see me, line of sight, eyeball to eyeball, and I'll move myself to a position on the road that if they did happen to not be looking and pull out, that I've got a little bit of room. Like this guy up here on the left, this red car, I'll move over here just in case he comes out. I've got a bit of room to play with. Anyway, the debate's back on in Hobart about high visibility, mandating of high visibility clothing. I don't want to see anything mandated. I hate when they start passing legislation like that. It's ridiculous. You should have freedom of choice as to what you want to wear. You want to be comfortable, you want to be safe, and you want to make a decision that's right for you, not have somebody else make that decision for you. And practice your roadcraft and don't put yourself in vulnerable positions, I guess. That's enough for me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and I will catch you next time on Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now. How good's that clutch?